Today on Suncoast View, cancel your spring break trip in Florida. That is what is all over social media today. We'll talk about why.
It is wedding season, and a top Suncoast wedding planner is here to talk trends and share some amazing photos to help you plan a perfect party for any occasion.
And Manatee School for the Arts has launched many young stage careers, and today they preview the musical Godspell. All that more right now on Suncoast View.
Welcome to the show. Yes, you are watching the right show. And welcome to Nicole Caney from NK Productions. Wedding Planning, great to have you with us.
Thank you. So nice to be here again.
And of course, we owe you a major thank you for giving us a little bit of a redo, which is a very, very fun way to start the week. Very classy. I love it.
Oh, yes, I'm sitting on fur here.
Oh, yeah.
With sparkle
we like to make things
me.
pretty. So.
What could be more glamorous here?
I know. Linda, I feel like this is what you look like at home.
It is.
Just lounging on fur with glittered pillows.
Just lots of gorgeous angles and everything. And Nicole, tell us about this set. I know it's from Staged Event Design and Rentals.
It's from So Staged, and they do a lot of things at our wedding. So it's very common to see a little settee, some chairs, some furniture for groupings for guests to sit down at cocktails or have a seat when other guests are dancing. Sometimes we turn this into cigar bars, and so it's really fun.
I didn't know you could rent things like that.
Yeah,
awesome.
We see a lot of custom details at weddings.
And venues don't mind you bringing things in like this? Because it seems
no.
awkward to sit in some of those dining chairs while everybody else is dancing if you need a break. This is wonderful.
Yeah,
Yes.
we completely transform venues, so that's what makes it fun.
Oh, it's nice how furniture can sometimes dictate behavior at an event.
Yeah, sometimes guests like to sit and relax, and then other times guests are dancing. So it makes it feel like there's a lot more warmth at the wedding.
Right.
And also the couple's personalities really come out too.
Well, it has certainly warmed up our set, that's for sure. So if you can class up a wedding with this, imagine what you've been able to do here. So, well, we appreciate you being here, and we certainly appreciate the different look for today. It makes things a lot of fun. We have a familiar face with a new story for us in the kitchen today. We welcome back Chef Evan from Siesta Key Summer House, something you may not have heard of course. Tell us about your new place.
Super excited. We should be opening in a couple weeks. We're really excited. It's going to bring something to the Key, steaks and seafood, really high quality. Today we're going to be talking about our Oysters Rockefeller, a little bit of a spin with a spinach and bacon fondue. Ooh. So we're really excited. We've got some wine, some cocktails for you as well.
All right, sounds fabulous. That whole concept of going out to Siesta Key and not having to go back inland for a fine dining event like that is great. I went out there this weekend, and I will tell you, it took a very long time to maneuver the bridges and the traffic.
And
so
you could have been eating and drinking during all that time.
Once I'm there, I want to be there. So I think this is a great addition.
Oh, yeah. Well, the summer house is a historic thing here. So that's a great memory it's bringing back.
Yes.
Ah, and that's one that you know that I don't. So you're going to have to tell us about that as we learn more about the kitchen. I'm sure Chef Evan did that very purposely. So I look forward to hearing about it. Nicole, we do actually like learning more about you since you're not with us all that open. I know you're a mom.
I am.
Tell us a little bit about your family.
I have 2 little kids. I have a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Oh, you're like in the trenches of momhood.
Yeah. So this morning it's getting kids ready, getting ready to be here, juggling work, but I have an amazing team, so it helps me so much, and really hands-on family too, and a wonderful husband. So when they say it takes a village, it is very true.
Oh, absolutely.
It does.
Okay, so I have a nosy mom question, because I'm fascinated on a daily basis of how everybody does it, because I barely am most days. Like with events and things like that, I mean, do you just try to make sure everybody knows your schedule? Because I'm sure you work some off hours because of the events that you plan.
I do, but my company's changed right now. We do about 75 weddings a year, but my team really does a lot. They're fantastic, and I have a lot of trust in them. So it's allowed me to free up a little bit more weekends. So I oversee our really big weddings, and then my team executes a lot of them on the weekends. I still oversee everything. Like this weekend, we had 3 weddings. I went and saw them all, but I didn't have to be there the whole night. So that really helps when I wake up Sunday morning.
And you're not exhausted.
I haven't gotten home at 1 or 2 in the morning and been gone all day.
And the 1-year-old gets up at 6, and I'm sure that's, we all know.
They're good kids, they're good sleepers, but still,
they want mommy to be good.
And I don't want to miss so much, but I feel like I also love my career so much, and I'm so lucky to have it. So I feel like I have a really, really good balance. and I enjoy both aspects
and
of my
Stephanie
life.
and I made it through. We made it through the trenches, so you can do this.
She is the role model you want to look at because she made it through and is now to the other side where her grandchildren love her dearly.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm
a part of that
trenches.
village.
Yeah, she's in the village. I won't tell you any scary stories because I'm full of scary teenager stories and I shall keep them to myself.
I gotta wonder of your daughter. I know she's still little, but is she? Does she have the gene, the event organization,
Yes.
birthday parties?
She's having tea parties.
100%. She loves to help us in the office actually, and she
bet.
really takes ownership. So I love her seeing that. I like her seeing us working and what it's like to have a strong female role model as well as a male. But I do think it's really nice for her to see that mom works hard,
Right.
and also there's a lot of really wonderful people in her life as well that work hard as
And then she gets to see the pretty things. I mean,
Oh,
wait till
she
you see
loves
these
it.
dresses. If I was a 4-year-old girl and these
Yeah.
dresses existed in my world, you'd be in heaven all the time.
Yes,
She's
you're
planned her
creating
wedding,
expensive
actually.
taste.
She's
Right.
already planned her wedding. She's getting married at Selby. She has a boyfriend, so
Oh, you're in trouble.
I'm gonna
Again,
keep
I'm gonna
working to
close
pay
my
for that
teenager mom
wedding.
mouth.
I'm thinking maybe a 5-year-old party instead of a wedding. But
Oh yeah, those are too small for her. She's moving on to bigger.
Oh boy, you're in trouble. It'll be
Yeah.
a lot of fun. Well, we're glad you're with us today.
you.
And it is time for our first hot topic. Student survivors of the Parkland school shooting continue to be vocal. This weekend, one took to social media to ask tourists to boycott the state of Florida as a spring break destination. The tweet reads, "Let's make a deal. Do not come to Florida unless gun legislation is passed. These politicians won't listen to us. Maybe they'll listen to the billion-dollar tourism industry." The second tweet, better idea, spend your spring break in Puerto Rico. They could really use the economic support. This post has been retweeted more than 30,000 times.
this is such a terrible idea.
Oh.
You are, Sally did something bad to you, so you're going to hurt Jeff, just so people will pay attention to you.
Yeah.
You're hurting so many businesses. You're hurting so many small businesses that keep, well, like your business. I mean, you're hurting so many businesses to get even with politicians who you're not hurting at all. So this is not a good way to get that message out.
Yeah, it's a vote message I think might help down the road, not
Yes.
a tourism message.
This is tough because this is a horrible situation to kind of empower these youth, but I know that our generation has certainly been a little hard on their generation, just like, are they going to get fired up about anything? Are they
Right.
going to get involved? Are they going to vote? So I hate that this is what has kind of, emblazoned them, but there's something that says to me, wow, these kids, we're going to be okay. Like, the world is going to be okay with these kids
point.
because they are, to learn this type of activism at this age is huge. I agree that it's misdirected in this case, but I don't want to squash that.
No, but they need to learn to direct their energy where they get results. If they take it to Tallahassee, they'll get results up there. I think if they are
I agree.
seen and heard, their faces are seen, they will get results up there. And take it to the voters. Take it to the voters. But taking it out on businesses is not the right answer.
Yeah, and Florida's a big place, and because
Absolutely.
you don't want to hurt the whole state because of various voting records in different counties. So it's just so complicated. It's tough.
Yes, it is, because we really want the right answer, but we don't know how to find it.
And some of these children have spoken so eloquently, and it's almost it's been
Absolutely.
moving to see them find a voice in such a dark situation. But again, boycotting, I don't know if that's the answer.
Interesting side note, my daughter's going to University of Wisconsin in the fall. I have a senior, so all sorts of stress here. But the universities are sending out notes that say, we will not be holding an in-school suspension or an out-of-school suspension against you for, I forget the reason they put it, I believe constitutional purposes, because a lot of these kids are heading off to Tallahassee or taking a stand and doing a walkout. And technically the school has to give them a slash for that, and the colleges have come forth to say, we understand.
them.
I thought so too. We understand your right to demonstrate and your right to peacefully protest, and that is part of our Constitution. The universities will not hold that against you. All these things that I grew up in that decade before or rather after Vietnam and before this world, and they're just things were kind of bland in the 80s, right? I mean,
and it was kind of sit down, be quiet, and don't make a lot of noise.
Well,
you know,
I was a reporter in the 60s. That was not the
so you
message
get it. To me, I'm like, what are these kids doing? They're crazy, but they're not crazy.
But they changed the world.
Absolutely.
They changed the world.
Absolutely.
They were against the Vietnam War, and they made a difference. So
and they'll
they
make
can
a
still
better
make
world for the young children coming
Yes.
today.
Yeah, and now we have social media, and that can really give them a voice that they never had before.
Absolutely.
And I think it can do a lot of good, and also social media sticks with you forever. So
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
be
Yes.
careful, but I think it's given them a voice.
But we need to attack the public officials who are voting.
Right.
They are our
Right.
power. We need to go after them.
or is there an opportunity for communities and businesses to stand up and say, we support you,
Yes.
so come visit us?
Yeah, well, that may be
Exactly.
this week's next tweet. Well, speaking of vacations, vacation rental options like Airbnb, VRBO, they continue to gain big popularity in our area, but they also bring up a tax issue. Manatee County is pushing back. The county tax collector says they want to make sure they're getting their 5% tourism bed tax. Now, Airbnb does collect and distribute this tax for 39 other Florida counties. Manatee County wants the individual renters to do it. But the problem is not everyone complies, then they're chasing them down. The renters complain the county is making this way harder than it needs to be. Do you think our area is still a little behind the 8 ball here and being wary of this rental situation? I mean, Nicole, you may know, I'm sure you have tons of people coming into town for the events that you help with. Do people use the Airbnb,
They
the
do.
VRBOs?
They do. I mean, I think just people love to come to Florida. It's beautiful here. I mean, my 3 weddings this weekend, what amazing weather did they have?
Absolutely.
So we do have a lot of people that come into town. A lot stay in hotels, but if they want to stay a little longer, especially if they have families, they do Airbnbs a lot. So I think it's very, very popular.
I don't think we want to lose that. I don't think we want to make it too
Yeah.
hard.
We are a destination. Like, to your point, we are a destination, so we get more people visiting us. We get more people staying in hotels or in Airbnbs.
stay for a
we
week.
don't want to lose
and
that.
But I have a house on the market. It's on the water. You can have a boat, but I think, do I really want to rent it out to strangers for a week or so? Even though I could lock up everything valuable, do I really want somebody going through my things? So it's a scary thought.
And we, I've even looked at about and talked to friends about, do you rent out that extra guest room of yours? But then you're like, same thing. I was like,
Right.
I have days where I'm not home
But
very
for
much.
people that want to do it, I don't think the county should be making it any more difficult.
Exactly.
So
I don't
hopefully
think
they'll
so
be
either.
able to
It's
resolve
not going
that.
anywhere.
Yeah, and I've stayed in many before with my girlfriends. We loved it.
Absolutely.
It was awesome. It was so much more fun than a hotel. So it's a great way to travel.
Okay, here's a fun travel story. I don't know if you're going to think this is nearly as funny as I do. So we complain endlessly about the things we see on airplanes. This one may absolutely top the list. So this woman got caught airing out her dirty laundry. No, I mean, literally. She was videoed holding a pair of white cotton underwear over her head
my
up
gosh.
to the air vent to dry them off. So a fellow passenger reports this woman did not care, not remotely embarrassed. In fact, they were held up there for about 20 minutes. I don't know, extra scary takeoff?
Indecent exposure, I'm
don't wanna
thinking
know.
here. I do not want to see that.
Okay, now I'm going to play the mom card here because I bet it's what Nicole thought too. They looked sort of toddler-ish, right? That band around the edge.
Yeah.
Maybe a kid had a problem and she had to
didn't
rinse them and
mention
dry
any
them.
kids.
That
It
air
didn't
goes
mention
all
any
through that
kids.
cabin multiple
Oh,
times.
my gosh.
Have we gotten worse? Are we worse travelers
Yes.
than we used to be?
Absolutely.
Do we have no manners at all?
Yeah.
No respect for each other?
Admit it's funny.
I mean,
It's underwear.
You have to find the humor in that, otherwise you will, the
Honestly,
germaphobe
though,
within you
okay.
will.
If I'm sitting behind the guy, I'm not amused at all because I'm confident that's coming my way.
Yeah, I'm pushing that
Okay,
button.
there
and-
is a public rule. Keep your underwear on.
Yeah.
Hey, when Linda
Travel with
speaks,
some extras.
it's a rule.
if you need some help.
All right, well, the internet loves a good optical argument. So see if you can find the controversy in this picture. It's honestly just a simple mirror selfie, but it combines horizontal and vertical stripes for a very odd effect. Look at her bird legs. Okay, not really. That is a tan vertical stripe on her track pants.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That
those, do you,
is bizarre.
at first glance to me, it looked like that is a flamingo. Her legs are so skinny.
Yes.
But when you think about track pants, they would be all black with one stripe. You're only seeing one of her
so
legs.
you're seeing
Yeah.
that stripe looks like it's the space between her legs.
I don't think Linda
so-
ever thought it was two. Did you ever think
no,
it was
I
two?
never thought it was two. I'm thinking I'd like to have some of those.
Now, I took one look at that and was honestly concerned about her health because I figured her legs must be this big around. To me, it looked like two legs
That's
with
a great thing.
the
Wow.
smallest, right, with the smallest thigh gap known to man. But what it really was is the side picture. Look at it again and see what you think, because I'm hoping this one does a circular. Right now I'm thinking that I'm going to wear track pants and stand sideways anytime you see me, and I'll look that skinny.
Well, the real question is, do you see black and blue? Or
oh, no. We are not going there. That's not the question.
And is that her arm at the top, her shoulder sticking out, or is that some kind of fat-looking thing?
All I know is that track pants, which I used to consider extremely unattractive, make you look very thin. So
Yes.
I will be finding some of those. All right, we're going to check on our happy hour forecast. And when we come back, we're going to sit down and talk to Johns Hopkins All Children's.
Good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with your happy hour forecast. And it looks as though first alert weather, no problems this afternoon, but different story over the weekend. We're going to have a complete update on the potential for some rough weather blowing through here. 68 degrees right now, though, comfortable out there, dew point 41, and the west wind at 13. The barometer still pretty high, 30-11. The temperature statewide into the 60s and 70s, so a little bit below average today. And notice the wind change. It has now moved to the northeast as opposed to the northwest. And that means we're going to see some drier air. On top of that, warmer air. And right now, no rain around. A little system passing down to our south. As expected, no problems with that. Right now, problems, high fire warning, or at least danger, as a result of the very low humidity in inland areas in Manatee County and also into Charlotte County. Satellite GOES imagery showing just a lot of sunshine out there. And that is a result of a large area of high pressure, but that's all soon to come to a change over the weekend as a storm system develops and throws another front our way. Details at 5.
Sadly, we are well aware that the Suncoast is at the center of the opioid crisis, and as a result, some of our youngest residents are drastically affected. Every 30 minutes, a baby exposed to opioids is born. And Dr. Prabhu Parimi, the director of Johns Hopkins All Children's Neonatal Institute, is here to tell us about what opioids mean for newborns. Welcome, doctor. So, it's a very scary statistic. What happens to a baby who has been exposed to opioids in utero?
Sure. I think it's important to sort of point out that when the baby is in utero, there is a constant supply of opioids from the mother to the baby. At the time of birth, there's an abrupt discontinuation of opioids. As a consequence, babies demonstrate withdrawal symptoms from opioid anywhere between 3 to 5 days after birth. And these include babies who cry incessantly, irritability, the tone is high, increased, and sweat profusely. And some of these babies may also have convulsions and also have poor feeding patterns.
Oh, sounds heartbreaking. So tell us what Johns Hopkins All Children's is doing for these cases. And there is a specific name for a baby who is coming off an opioid pregnancy.
Right, it's called neonatal abstinence syndrome.
Okay.
That's a name given to babies who are exposed to opioids and then demonstrate symptoms post-birth.
What can you do?
So what we have done at Johns Hopkins All Children's is took a different approach. And that is that we have put these babies in an area within the neonatal ICU and put the expertise around. And these include occupational therapists, musical therapy, speech therapy, and dedicated group of physicians. And the results are really startling. So what we have done as a consequence of what we call cohorting is reduce the length of stay the babies have in the neonatal ICU from 13 to 9 days.
Oh,
Decrease the exposure of medication. We have to use medications to treat these babies to almost 40% reduction. And I think the key thing that I need to sort of emphasize also is that those babies who are eligible to breastfeeding, we were able to demonstrate that increase from 69 to 100%.
Wow.
So I think this cohorting them is a great approach to help these babies to recover quickly and be able to discharge home.
What is the long-term prognosis? I mean, rough start to life. How much of that are you able to reverse?
No, there's not much known. There is some sort of a conflicting data at this point in time. I think what is important is that we know that there's emerging information about effect of opioids and developing brain in utero. So there is some data to show at around 18 to 24 months after birth, these babies may demonstrate behavioral symptoms and some developmental issues. But again, I think it's very important to underscore that data is still under investigation. So more work needs to be done to shed light on both the long-term consequences of babies exposed to opioids.
I'm not sure we want to know the answer to this next question. How often are you seeing this here in our area?
So at Johns Hopkins All Children's, I think I'll tell you two things. At Sarasota, we manage anywhere between 100 to 120 babies every year born at the Sarasota Memorial Hospital and being cared for in our Sarasota outpatient care clinic to see if there are any issues. At Johns Hopkins All Children's, we admit anywhere between 120 to 150 babies every year exposed to opioids.
Okay, so that's 100 here and another 150 in St. Pete.
Absolutely.
Wow, then we really are the epicenter of this problem.
Yes.
Indeed is.
That's frightening. That's very frightening. So you are doing lots of different things to tell the community about this. One of them being the Johns Hopkins Community Program aimed to help women. Tell us about the program that's coming up and how your opioid background is going to be a part of it.
Yeah, I think the women's journey is about to start in Wednesdays. We have 3 consecutive days. We are focusing on the health issues pertaining to women. And opioid is a big issue. 30% of women in the childbearing age group receive opioids. Every 3 minutes, a woman receives care in the emergency room for misuse of opioids. So there's a lot of work that we have to do, reaching out to the community. But I think the 2 key things that we really need to talk about is destigmatize it and really talk about the consequences of using opioids. What's happening is the consequence, mothers are not presenting into prenatal care at an early stage. They're coming in late. That may lead to babies being born low birth weight and premature. So much work needs to be done before pregnancy, during pregnancy, to mitigate the consequences of opioids on the developing brain of the baby and the long-term consequences.
So you want honesty. You want the women to be able to say to their doctor, I've made a mistake, or maybe they don't even think it's a mistake.
Right.
I've had opioids, so that you are prepared for the baby.
Absolutely. I think so. We are reaching out to the community. We are collaborating with PAR, collaborating with the OB and MFM physicians to have launch this educational campaign so that they can come in and then provide this care throughout pregnancy, and then to see if we can potentially detoxify by resorting to a different agent which will have less effects on the baby, and babies can be home early.
What a heartbreaking side effect of the whole issue.
yes, it
is.
So thank you to Johns Hopkins All Children's for the work that you are doing to help these babies, and we love that you're spreading it right down to Sarasota as well. A Woman's Journey Sarasota will be held at the Sarasota Ritz-Carlton. That is coming up on Friday, March 2nd. For more information, you can go to hopkinsallchildrens.org and then / A Woman's Journey 2018. Coming up next, Manatee School for the Arts previews the musical Godspell.
All hands on deck. What's up? I want to point out 3 tips for using the home computer more safely. Point away.
First, stop. Make sure your software is up to date and that you've password protected your computer's login and Wi-Fi connection.
Next, think before visiting a site, opening attachments, or clicking on links.
Then connect, knowing you're helping make the web safer for you
and for everyone. Make Stop, Think, Connect part of your daily online routine.
I heard about the Utero Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Utero Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Utero Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
It's time to take a road trip.
Burn rubber for Birmingham, where you can feed your need for speed at Barber Motorsports Park and Museum. Now this gets my motor running. Meet Iron Men. Hey there, big guy. And make a date with your 9-iron. Feed the animals at the zoo and the birds. Then enjoy the award-winning restaurant scene. Alabama has a road trip with your name on it.
Which one you gonna take?
I'm Anne. I'm a scientist.
Recycling takes a team.
Why don't you let me and me help you out?
Everyone plays a part. Don't trash
I love taking stuff apart and building new things out of it.
what could be treasure.
Pal's my most advanced android. This is awesome. You haven't seen anything yet.
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
Manatee School for the Arts is a tuition-free, arts-focused middle and high school which has produced many successful performers. They're getting ready to open the musical Godspell, and today they've brought us a preview. Take it away, guys. Wow, they are awesome. You guys are so good. And joining us now is the lady with a smile on her face, Natalie Mock. She is the co-director and the choreographer of the show. Tell me, Natalie, how is Manatee School for the Arts different than a regular middle school or high school?
Our school is very special because the students are exposed to arts infusion every day. They have the opportunity to take so many different electives, from hip-hop dance to digital photography to multiple styles of music, and all of the arts are infused in their academics as well.
So they're getting the same academics they would at any other high school or middle school?
Absolutely. It's just a different experience because they have a little bit more fun doing it, I think.
It sounds like they do. We can't wait to see the whole show. And you've got to see this show. It is Godspell at Manatee School for the Arts. It opens on March 2nd and it runs through March 10th. For tickets, go to their website. And next, we're going to take a look at this season's wedding trends.
Glasses and contacts. You need them to see, but they put such a strain on your life, you miss precious moments. Due to new advances in vision improvement technology, LASIK is now affordable for almost everyone, with procedures starting as low as $299 per eye and over 1 million procedures performed by our trusted independent surgeons. LASIK surgery is a sensible, safe, and affordable solution to improve your vision. Our simple 3-step process begins with a free evaluation, followed by an extensive preoperative exam to determine if you're a candidate for LASIK eye surgery. Depending on the results of your evaluation and eye exam, you and your surgeon will choose the LASIK option that works best for you. So call now to talk to a LASIK Vision Institute counselor and schedule your free evaluation. That's a $100 value, free. Call the LASIK Vision Institute for your free evaluation and enjoy more of your life.
Call 1-800-813-0109. 1-800-813-0109.
Each day, researchers make discoveries that bring us closer to the moment when all cancer patients can become survivors. Their progress is made possible with the help of clinical trials. Clinical trials are the brightest torch researchers have to light their way towards better treatments. And if you've been diagnosed with cancer, they may be your brightest ray of hope. Speak with your doctor and visit standuptocancer.org/clinical trials to learn more. Together, we can stand up for all of us.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
A decade of war has taken an unprecedented toll on our men and women in uniform.
Hundreds of thousands of our veterans are suffering from the trauma of war.
At Justice for Vets, we believe that every veteran should have the opportunity for treatment and restoration.
Get involved and go to justiceforvets.org.
Help put treatment within reach of veterans in crisis.
Veterans fought for our freedom. Now it's our turn to fight for theirs.
Don't allow your weight to threaten your health or control your future. Excess weight or obesity can cause emotional and physical health risks. But you can take control. The Your Weight Matters campaign offers free resources and tips to help you measure and understand your weight. Take the Your Weight Matters Challenge. The free toolkit prepares you to speak with a healthcare provider about your weight. Your weight does matter. Take the challenge and take control today.
Welcome back to Suncoast View. We're going to check back in with Chef Evan from the brand new Siesta Key Summer House. And it wouldn't be summer if we weren't talking some fresh, refreshing cocktails. So Chef Evan, tell us a little bit about your upcoming cocktail menu.
At the Summer House, we're going to be doing a lot of fresh infusions, fresh fruit, really high-end cocktails. One of the things that's really interesting is we've got the Corvin machine, which allows us to offer you guys a higher-end bottle of wine by the glass. So a lot of restaurants don't do that, which is really cool aspect for us to do.
All right, we look forward to all that.
We're going to pop some oysters and get ready for you guys to come in the kitchen a little bit later.
Sounds great. We'll see you in a little bit.
Thank you.
Joey?
Well, spring is a popular time for weddings here on the Suncoast, and whether you are planning one or attending one, there are new and exciting trends every year. Well, our guest host, Nicole Caney, is the owner of NK Productions, and she has been helping Suncoast couples plan their perfect event for more than a decade. Well, so we're very glad you're here. Not only have you made our set beautiful, but you're also making weddings beautiful. So we know that there are different trends every year. Any overall themes that you're seeing this year?
We don't do a whole lot of trends with our weddings because our clients really like a timeless look, but we are seeing, last year we saw flowers that were just out of control with greenery. So bouquets were huge. They've kind of tightened up a little bit, softer palettes we're seeing, but we are seeing interesting greenery that you can see in this piece from Victoria Blooms.
Well, before we get there, you're pretty much talking luxury weddings with us now. So we're looking at, we get to see the weddings of the rich and famous.
We like, that would be so fun
we would like to have.
Well, we have so many incredible venues in Sarasota. I always say we are so lucky to have Selby Gardens, the Ringling, the Ritz-Carlton, the Crosley. I mean, we are just so lucky in this area to have this level of wedding venue that it's really, really fun for us because we get to do so many different things with our clients.
Oh, yes.
And it really has their personalities come across with each venue.
So one of my favorite things about a wedding is the cake. I will fess up. So I want to start with the cake. So what have you been seeing with cakes?
Well, everyone loves a good cake. So I think, first of all, having a really delicious cake is important, but we're seeing a lot of over the top. I mean, I think wedding trends are just that weddings just keep getting better and better, which is great for us.
And you brought us a beautiful example.
Yes, Julie Defense made this cake. The flowers are handmade. It's so beautiful and detailed. So when we are seeing wedding cakes, we are seeing them quite large, very, very detailed, sugar flowers or sometimes real flowers. But this is one that we just did at the Ringling last weekend, and that wedding was over the top. Wow. Every element came out, and it was just incredible. I mean, that cake was a piece of artwork.
I need a behind-the-scenes question. So let's say you're not having that huge of a wedding, but you want a really big cake. Is it okay to do a couple faux layers on the bottom? It is? Okay,
well,
good.
we like that in Florida so things don't melt.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's a bonus here.
Because you might want to go big, but not need to feed 800.
Right, and not anybody knows because they look so beautiful, but a lot of the time cakes do have a few big layers. It's a wedding secret. It's a secret.
We do want to point out that beautiful cake was from Julie Defense Artistry, which it is artistry. It is gorgeous. Yes. We're so lucky to have her here on the Suncoast. All right, now let's move to flowers. You mentioned florals. What are you seeing there?
I'm seeing soft flowers, so really neutral color palettes and different varieties. varieties. Like this arrangement has tulips, it has garden roses, it has some things that maybe you'd find in a garden at home, and it has some different types of greenery. So just lots of really interesting pieces.
And this is from Victoria Bloom.
It is, who's a great local vendor. We're so lucky to have the vendors that we have in our community.
And it's interesting to me, even in Florida, we're not necessarily having to see tropical flowers. I mean, this reminds me more of an English garden look, but so we're kind of gotten away from the birds of paradise and the bouquet kind of thing.
I think most brides like something softer, and tropicals tend to be harsher, but we see them a lot for welcome parties. So a lot of the times our clients come in town and they host 3 or 4 events throughout the weekend. And sometimes Friday night could be a welcome party, and that's when you do the really tropical, the palm leaves, something a little more edgy for when your guests first come into town, and very, very Florida. We don't find that most of the weddings themselves are necessarily Florida. They're just general beautiful weddings.
And events that can spread out over the course of a few days, which is exciting.
We do a lot over several days, because if you have so many people come into town, you want to host them and entertain them, and we have so many venues we can do that at here in Sarasota.
All right. The dresses. I know everyone loves to talk the dresses. You have, in addition to the 2 beautiful pieces that you brought here on stage, you also brought some beautiful models. So let's bring them out, and you can tell us what we're seeing in dresses. And these are all from Something Blue Bridal Bouquet.
And they're located in Bradenton.
Lovely.
So the dress sets the tone for design. It really does. And the dress here on the right, this is a boho style, which we're seeing more of. It's a little more loose and whimsical, and she has a bouquet that I think complements it really well. I think this would be perfect for like a Selby Gardens wedding.
Yes.
It's lovely.
It is a bohemian boho,
and especially with the heat, not to be all like corseted in.
Right, and I think it feels really comfortable, and she feels really relaxed, which is so important. And then we have this dress here on the other side, and I think the crystal beading it is fantastic. I mean, she looks amazing in it, but this is just so elegant. We're seeing dresses that are more form-fitting, that are a little more on the sexy side, which I think is really nice. And really, this sets the tone for the whole design. Her back on this dress is the cutout back, and the train is just amazing. So imagine this walking down the aisle, setting the tone for everything else that has to come on the wedding day.
Very
so
elegant.
If you start with dresses like this, you want the rest to be fantastic and amazing as well.
Absolutely. How stunning.
Well,
Thank
you want to be
ladies.
remembered. And you wear one of these and you will be remembered.
Absolutely.
Well, another thing people will remember from your reception and your event is surprises. You said there are some surprises. So you brought us some photos, and I love this first one. It seems to almost set the tone. A red carpet.
Red carpet for guest arrival. That was hundreds of candles as guests came in. I mean, the Ringling Courtyard, you just can't get more elegant than that. So what an amazing entrance. It reminds me of being in New York City at the Public Library. Those huge the huge steps. So I just think what an entrance, and guests were just blown away.
And then that continues as they go in. These are projections on the dance floor.
Projections just to make it feel more custom, to feel more unique. So this was a rose petal because we had roses everywhere at that wedding. So it just makes it feel really special and custom, and it worked just so well. It was really spectacular.
Really stunning. All right, tell us what we see here.
This was an aerial act, which is at John Ringling Museum, which is so perfect to kind of throw back the circus, but in a very elegant way. So it was a little more Cirque du Soleil feeling, and that is actually part of a champagne pour. So guests are interactive with it.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Continue. All right, we're going to keep talking. You can learn more about these trends and all of your wedding needs by visiting Nicole's website, nkproductions.net. All right, next we've talked wedding trends. What about old traditions? We're going to ask our wedding pro when we come back.
ABC 7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station.
It's time to take a road trip.
Alabama's got 100 road trips. And if you love the sun, you're gonna love Mobile, where Mardi Gras is king, and the accommodations will make you feel like royalty. You can take a little drive, explore Dauphin Island, or explore the past. We're talking the USS Alabama. Check out these big guns. Alabama's got 100 road trips. Plan yours at alabama.travel.
Which one you gonna take?
This is an ABC 7 News Update.
Good afternoon, I'm Jacqueline Matter. Here's what we're working on for 5 o'clock. This weekend marks the 6-month anniversary since Hurricane Irma slammed the Suncoast. What city and county leaders are looking to improve for this upcoming season in Venice. And some helpful tips to avoid getting other people sick when you have a contagious illness. Now let's get a check on our First Alert weather forecast with Bob Harrigan.
Thanks, Jacqueline. A beautiful afternoon after a pretty chilly start. Right now, 68 degrees. We have fair skies and the dew point temperature still really low, and that means we're going to see cool temperatures again tonight. So if you're heading out for dinner this evening or a walk on the beach, it's going to be on the chillier side. West wind now at 13, and the barometer 30-11. That's high. That continues to stay fairly significant right now. Will stay with us through the day, much of the day tomorrow. 68 in Orlando now. The temperature forecast, we're anticipating lows tonight. Once again into the low 50s, some upper 40s around as well. Forecast at 5.
Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7, weekdays starting at 5.
You know, fortunately, this was my first job out of college, so I was able to come back home and work in my hometown. I wore 2 hats. I was sports director and I was a news anchor. I did that for a few years and then decided to go full-time into news. Well, I love our team here at ABC 7. We have a great mix, and it really is a great mix of personalities, of experience, that meshes really well into a really strong team. I'm Scott Dennis, and I'm here for you.
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Florida Studio Theater presents Blue Suede Shoes, celebrating the birth of rock and roll. From the father of rock and roll, Chuck Berry, to the king himself, Elvis Presley, this musical review features such great hits as Rock Around the Clock, Mustang Sally, Johnny Be Good, and of course, Blue Suede Shoes. Critics are calling Blue Suede Shoes a burst of rock history, dynamic and high voltage. Audiences are calling it phenomenal. Blue Suede Shoes has been held over by popular demand. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting floridastudiotheater.org.
Well, we've been having fun talking wedding trends, from red carpets at the reception to elaborate champagne pours. Well, all of these new wedding trends, do the old traditional rules apply? Our guest host and Suncoast wedding planner Nicole Caney is here to weigh in on wedding woes. All right, Nicole, we know that each wedding is different, but some couples can sometimes get hung up on traditions and trying to make sure they incorporate everything. Do you have any general advice for them?
I think you do what feels right for you. So every couple is unique, and we like them to feel comfortable and feel like they're embracing what's great about their relationship. So we talk through it and see if it's right for them. We make it feel very custom.
Okay.
So there's not a cookie cutter approach
No,
to
and
it.
if you want bubbles at your wedding, you can have bubbles come down at your wedding, whatever you want.
They make you happy, sure.
All right, so we pulled some of the more traditional things that people use in their ceremonies, so we wanted you to kind of weigh in.
Okay.
What about the rules? It's true, you can only have 2 wedding colors. Is that true?
No, that's definitely not true. We see a lot of palettes, so we're not necessarily seeing my wedding is white and silver. We're seeing ranges of color tones, just because we have so many amazing things available to us now. So we certainly don't just see 2 colors. We see multiple colors, or just sometimes very neutral palettes.
Oh, nice.
That
so
sounds good.
It's still whatever you like. It's what the couple wants.
Sure.
Their tastes.
Absolutely.
Okay, this is interesting. I know as we've seen, same-sex marriage or just, gender roles changing. Bridesmaids traditionally female, groomsmen are traditionally male. Is that still a rule?
No, we see mixed. We really do. I think you want your closest next to you, and if it's a male or female, either side, you want who you want next to you. So we embrace that. Every wedding's really different, and if it works for you, then that's great. We love it.
Oh, this is nice, because there were people I went to college with, and they said, I'm sorry, I already have a maid of honor, but you can be one of the groomsmen. But, they probably would have chosen me to stand next to them. So those rules are broken away.
I like that.
I'll choose you to stand next to me.
Make them wear a dress. Sorry.
All right, what about the old, this is for some of the more traditional, bad luck for the bride and groom to see each other before the ceremony. Is that still true?
So it's not. I would say about 75% of our weddings, they do see each other before. The reason why is you have these amazing photographers at these incredible venues. You just want more time. And a wedding day goes by so fast. So if you want to, we encourage it. I definitely have clients that say absolutely not. We will only see each other when we walk down the aisle. That's great, and that's what you want. But brides and grooms that are open to it, we love it.
Yeah.
Because you just get so
I'd have
many
done
more
that differently.
photos.
I will tell you that because, and you were both at my wedding, the pressure of fitting it into 20 minutes so that the guests aren't left alone and I didn't have time to circulate, it was a little stressful. It really was. I'd have done that before if I could do it again.
And don't you want to see your betrothed before and just have a moment of going, wow,
we did it.
Let's calm each other down or whatever.
Well, I think it would help with the nerves.
I think so, but we have couples again that say we will just see each other when we walk down the aisle, and they feel very strongly about it. So in that case, sure, that works for them.
Well, that can deliver a moving
But if they're
reaction.
open for our couples, we love it. They just get so many more pictures before.
Right.
So then, and especially a lot like to join cocktails because
well, hello, yes, I missed all my appetizers.
I
never got. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed them.
What about wedding bands? Do the two bands have to match?
No, actually, we don't see them match much anymore.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I saw one this weekend. It was beautiful, very different. Groom had on a really thin band, and the bride had a nice big diamond. So
I like that.
Yeah, it doesn't have to match.
You'll see varying tastes, right? Someone's a little flashier than the other person, and they want what they want.
Right.
All right, the ceremony rules. Now, this is good for guests. If you show up, I never know, is it still the bride's on one side, groom's friends on another side? How does the seating work?
So we rarely see that, but we always see the first few rows reserved for family. So maybe one row or two rows is for the bride side or groom side or bride side, however the wedding is working out. But we don't see each side for bride and groom because a lot of the time now couples are all friends and there isn't just a side that you align with.
Right.
So we just like to make sure that families in the front rows and besides that guests can sit wherever they'd like.
Is it okay to wear white to a wedding as a guest?
Good question.
Never.
Not still even in Florida, huh?
No,
Never.
I don't agree personally. I think that is absolutely reserved for the bride. Let her have her moment, and guests I don't believe should wear white. Although people have asked about wearing black to weddings. We see a lot of black at weddings.
It's okay for black, but not for white.
But I don't think white.
Okay.
I think
that's good to know.
reserved
That is
for the
good to
bride.
know.
Now, for a reception, there's a lot of checklists of things that you need to do. The garter toss, the bouquet toss, are those still a must-have?
It depends. If you have a lot of single friends, sure. If you have one or two single friends, I don't find that they really enjoy being out there. But I've had
Hi, I'm the not married one.
Yeah.
The reluctance.
So I think you want to think about your guests. If you have 20 or 15 single friends and you think they'll find it fun, they can be really fun, the bouquet and the garter. But if you have a few, they probably don't want to be dragged out on
And
the
if
floor.
everybody's going to duck and run away from it, not so good.
You want it to feel fun because it's usually towards the end of the night, so you want it to be exciting and not you're pushing people to go out there.
I love this. So the overall theme is whatever you like, it's for you. It's your choices.
No judging.
Yes.
Well,
Well,
there are
great.
some rules. You still have some rules to abide by.
Yeah, no white. We did learn no white.
yeah.
Well, you can learn more about these trends and all of your wedding needs by visiting Nicole at nkproductions.net. All right, coming up, it's spring wedding season. It's also spring training season. ABC 7 Days coming up with the Orioles. We'll tell you all about it.
In life after the military, it's our duty as veterans to have each other's back. I'm retired Colonel Greg Gatson, and it's my mission to help you get the benefits and services you've earned. If you need to file a VA claim, remember these important steps. Submit an online claim through ebenefits.va.gov. Work with an accredited Veteran Service Organization, or VSO. And if you need to attend a VA claim exam, please go. Visit this website to learn what to expect.
I'll be right back.
Dear parents, it's time for a pop quiz. What's the best kind of play for kids? Play that makes us think? Or helps us pretend? Or teaches us rules? Or to be creative? Actually, every kind of play is important because different kinds of play give us different kinds of skills. Help us mix up the ways we play. Okay, class dismissed. Now go play.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Okay, so we drowned the fire.
Yep.
Stirred it. Drowned it again. And now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. Already posted it.
Okay, you know what do I love? Baseball. It is spring training season. Opening weekend has happened. There's great games all this week. And you're going to want to come to Ed Smith Stadium and join us on Wednesday. February 28th is ABC 7 Day. We are throwing out the first pitch, singing the national anthem, say hi to us, hanging out around the stadium throughout the day. Lots of free swag, and it is just a good time. Everybody's happy at the ballpark. You know, that is why I love to be there so much. So come out and join us. The bird will say hi. And you know what? Oh, by the way, there's baseball too.
And you're singing the national anthem.
I am singing the national
anthem. On that. I don't want to get stuck with that microphone.
Okay, that's good to know that I won't pass that off.
No, please don't.
And I heard Fergie's already booked, so you're stuck with me. You know, that's how that's going to go. But come join us. It's a great team. It's a great thing to have right here on the Suncoast, and we are proud to be a part of them. We're also proud to introduce you to a brand new restaurant on Siesta Key. Join us in the kitchen with Siesta Key Summer House.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC 7 shows on your streaming device.
Growing up, my mom was afraid of the water, something she did not want me to feel.
So I enrolled Missy in swim lessons.
It changed my life.
Missy Franklin.
And now you can do the same for someone that you love.
There's nothing more precious than your child's well-being.
So act now before it's too late.
Make us swim! I'm glad I did.
Thanks, Mom. Visit usaswimmingfoundation.org to find, get, or give a swim lesson.
This is an ABC 7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline Matter. Here's what we're working on for 5 o'clock. This weekend, we will spring our clocks forward for daylight saving time. A look at the impact that time change can have on our bodies. And taking a quick look at our first alert traffic, right now we are seeing a crash in the northbound lanes of I-75 in Sarasota near the University Parkway exit. Traffic does look like it is backed up from the Bee Ridge exit stretching north into Parrish. Now let's get a check on our first alert weather forecast with Bob.
Good afternoon, everyone. We have some changes beside the time coming up over the weekend. We have a cold front and a storm system developing in the Gulf. Right now, very pleasant out there, 68 degrees, a little bit below average, sunshine, and the dew point very low at 41. Clear skies over most of the state right now, and that's a direct result of a large area of high pressure which continues to dominate our weather. It will do so just for one more day, really just a half day, and then things start to change. We'll tell you about those changes coming up today at 5.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
Performing on stage takes mental and physical preparation. But one thing I never thought to prepare for was cervical cancer. 91% of cervical cancers are caused by the human papillomavirus, or HPV. The good news is there are vaccines that can protect you or your children from cancer. I survived my cancer, but you can stop cancer before it starts. Talk to your doctor and go to thinkaboutthelink.org to learn more.
Northland Outdoors is about so much more than the biggest fish or the hottest hunting spots. All across the Northland, there are amazing people with incredible stories to tell. We're going to find those stories and share them with everyone.
Join us each and every week as we explore the Northland and experience some of the most exciting outdoor adventures in the country right here in our own backyard. This is Northland Outdoors.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7.
Believe me, everybody wants to work in the White House. They all want a piece of that Oval Office. They want a piece of the West Wing. And not only in terms of it looks great on their resume, it's just a great place to work.
If the White House is such a great place to work, why do President Trump's top aides keep quitting? And what about the porn star?
I'm Alan Cohn. Why not meet me at the Trapezoid?
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you. Sailor Circus presents the greatest little show on earth. This family-friendly show will leave you spellbound as local students ages 8 to 18 showcase their talent circus style. Watch these kids flip, fly, and soar through the air onto the big top behind the mall at UTC in Nathan Benderson Park. One day only, 2 performances, Saturday, March 17th. Get your tickets now at circusarts.org. Don't miss Sailor Circus under the big top.
On the next Black Almanac.
As a member of the military, the 9th Cavalry, he carries that history with him, but he also carries a lot of the history of Manatee County. Mr. Lewis helped to integrate the schools, the original schools in Manatee County, when there were no schools for black kids.
Sunday morning at 7:30 on ABC 7.
Coming up Tuesday at 4 on Suncoast View, it is the perfect time of year to sit on the patio with a good book. We'll ask Bookstore One to help us make our spring reading lists and bring their top picks for the season. It's also a good time to crack open a cold brew, so our gift girl is back with fun ideas for beer drinkers. Plus, Sarasota Opera previews Manon Lescaut, and it's a circus, literally, with a ringmaster in the kitchen.
Welcome back. We're here with Chef Evan from Siesta Key Summer House. What are we making today?
We are going to show you guys our take on our Oysters Rockefeller. So what we're starting here is a spinach and bacon fondue. So I've got a little bit of butter in here, a little bit of bacon, and we're just rendering that out. And if Linda, you'll hand me those chopped up shallots and garlic that you did earlier so well.
That I did earlier. Yes,
you guys should have seen her. She was.
Might have been a little fib. I just heard.
The tears.
She can't chop that fine. We know Linda.
So we're gonna sweat those out, the onion or the shallots and the garlic. Let that render out, and then we've got a little bit of flour. So what we're doing is we're kind of making a roux with a little bit of milk and cream to make that fondue. And we've got some of that made ahead of time, so we're going to start spreading that on the oysters. So it's a 2-step process where we kind of bake the oysters off after we put that fondue on, and then we're going to go ahead and cover it with we have Gouda, Parmesan, and butter crumbs that we're going to mix up in there.
You had me at Gouda. While Nicole does some work there, I want to ask a couple of questions. So first of all, we should tell everybody that Siesta Key Summer House is brand new.
It's brand new.
Doors will be opening any few weeks here now, so you're not crazy if you haven't been there.
Correct.
It's brand new.
It's right next to the cottage, yes.
Okay, on Siesta Key. And Linda told a great memory story about her memories of Summer House on Midnight
Summer
Pass.
House was a huge, beautiful place where you could see all glass, you could see the outside, all flowers and foliage. The best weddings in town were there.
Correct.
Wonderful parties. I love the homage to that, though, kind of a
Well, yeah, we're paying
throwback.
homage to it, and just to have that, who doesn't want to have a summer house on the beach?
Absolutely.
Yes, I know I want one.
I know me.
You don't have to own one, you can go visit
Right, we're going to go visit you. Okay, that sounds great.
All right, so we're going to throw a little bit of flour in to make that roux. And one thing that really gives an Oyster Rockefeller its signature flavor is Pernod, which is an anisette flavored liquor. So we're going to throw a little bit of that in there and deglaze.
So anisette meaning anise and licorice?
Yeah,
it really is a licorice flavor? Okay.
Exactly.
I don't
You
know
can
Pernod.
smell it. So
Oh,
then
now
we're
I
going to go
smell
ahead and throw the spinach in. And we're going to wilt
So it's
that.
healthy.
Right, we call it a vegetable. This is a
Exactly.
vegetable dish.
So we are really excited about our steaks, and we're doing very classical, but also our kind of spin on it as well.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about, there's some amazing cuts of meat here.
Those are big steaks.
You talked about very carefully sourcing your steaks.
Yes, it's taken us probably about 2 years to really carefully source these steaks, all natural. The feed, we actually met with the 4th generation farmer. Really, really cool story.
That's very cool.
They have a feed that they've been feeding them for 4 generations, and it's only to that area. They can only get that feed in
And
that
that really
area.
matters.
It does. So, we've got our 40-ounce porterhouse for 2.
For
two, that's for 2.
better.
We're going to be sous vide in that for about 6 hours. Falls right off the bone. This is our dry-aged bone-in ribeye. We've got a 20-ounce New York strip. We have a Nyman Ranch, which is big, everybody, especially in this
Absolutely.
town.
We love Nyman
And then
Ranch.
we've got our prime boneless ribeye as well.
Okay, lots to look forward to. Seafood, steaks, good cocktails. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Now we're going to go ahead and throw we have some heavy cream and a little bit of milk, and we're going to let that come together. If you want to go ahead and mix the rest of those butter crumbs with that cheese.
Okay, so add this into the bowl. Okay. Everything's better with Gouda. Do I get to put more in, or is that a topper? Put it in?
Yep.
Okay.
We're going to mix that up, and then we're going to go ahead and top these and throw them in the oven.
Okay, so this is the Oysters Rockefeller. I assume this is on an appetizer menu.
Correct, yep. You get 6 of them.
Chef, while you're working, earlier you served us some craft cocktails, so is that also going to be a big mainstay on the menu?
Yes, exactly. Craft cocktails, like I said, we have the Corvin machine, so we can really offer a higher-end bottle of wine at glass.
You know, I'm going to grab this for a second. For anybody that isn't familiar with the Corvin machine, they know my wine habits here, so it's one of my favorite things in life. Explain how this works.
It actually goes, there's a needle that goes in, and there's a little gas capsule that it penetrates through the cork, so you never take the cork out of the wine. It's really, really cool.
So basically, you can have a really high-end glass of wine from a great bottle that normally you would have to order and have the whole bottle, but now you can just have a glass. So you get to try things you wouldn't ever try before because you might not want to drink a whole bottle.
Yeah.
Nice. So, all right, I love it. Chef Evan's going to head to the oven. We will be sampling shortly, but I want to remind you that this is all Siesta Key Summer House. This is a brand new, soon-to-open restaurant out on Siesta Key. It's next to the cottage right there in town. You're going to want to stop by, find steaks, find seafood, and yeah, just a lot of fun. We're really excited.
Yeah. So our finished product we have here in front of us. So they come out about 7 to 8 minutes in the 400-degree oven. They get nice and bubbly and gooey. We serve it with some fresh lemon on some rock salt, and it doesn't get much simpler.
It doesn't get much better than this. I absolutely agree. All right, we cannot wait till you open. We will be there to join you. Nicole, great to have you with us.
Yes.
Never gets more fun than weddings. I think it makes everybody happy. We've had a great start to the week. Thank you for joining us. Take some time and enjoy the Suncoast view. See you tomorrow.